Remember, I said that creating original content is not the only way to build your blog, that you could curate and cultivate content? Well, let's talk about how you do just that. Curating content is adding content from other people to your blog. Now, this is not plagiarizing, but it is a great strategy to round out your content. Where do you find this content that you're going to curate? Well, start reading industry news. Follow other people who are experts in your field. Sign up for newsletters from not necessarily your local competitors, but people who do what you do in other markets. And Google Alerts. Even today, you can set up little reminders that will pop up in your email every time an article is written about a particular topic. This was really helpful when I was working with clients who were dealing with emerging technologies, when we were constantly looking for lots of new information. When you are curating content, you're doing a roundup of information you're finding in other places, make sure you credit the source. We did this for Randall Beans. We would collect recipes from other recipe developers that used beans, and we would add them to the blog, and then we would credit the recipe developer and link back to their site. That use of outbound links to other relevant, credible sources is actually very valuable from a Google perspective, and your clients value it because they don't have to go to 5 different sources to find the best information. When you do this, you need to add your perspective. It's not enough to just have this roundup of content. This was a piece that we did where we were talking about where we went for information. And we have links to all of these external sources. But the real key to this post was our perspective, where we said, we do this because this is the kind of information I get there. I like this. This is what I'm looking for. This is why this is interesting. Here's why you should read this. Because if you're not adding your perspective to curated content, after a while, people are going to wonder, why should I read your stuff? I can just go to the source. You can also curate your own content. If you've been blogging for a while, you're going to have a lot of information. And so you can go back into your blog and find those relevant posts that are all kind of on similar topics and put them in a roundup like this. Now you have links, internal links to other relevant articles. People who are interested in one thing can easily hop over to other related posts. If you've been blogging for a while, you probably have content on your website that maybe didn't get a lot of play originally. This is a great way to bring that back out. And cultivating. I do an entire presentation on user-generated content, so I'm just going to hit the highlight here. This is a technique where you can reach out to the people who know and love you with surveys or pop-up questions on social media. And as people answer, you can collect their answers and turn it into a blog post. And you can also invite other people to write blog posts. Now, if you've had a blog for any length of time, you're probably getting tons of these solicitations. I will write a blog post. All I want is an outbound link. Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you've got a friend or a referral partner who is smart and knowledgeable, writes a guest post on your blog, and in return, you write a guest post on theirs. When you do these group posts, you really have an opportunity to go viral and get a lot of social traffic. So if you have a peer group, and in this instance, I was part of a community of digital agency owners, and I sent out a note and asked a question, and I had a bunch of people answer it. And what I did was I wrote their answer with added their photo and a link to their website. So they got the benefit of having that inbound link. Everybody I included in this post shared it on social media. And so I had an opportunity to introduce my blog to a very wide audience because my friends did the work for me. And while I'm on the subject, and as we're closing out this program, I want to talk about distribution. It's great if you're going to write blog posts, but you also need to find your audience and make sure that they see your content. Your blog is ground zero. This is the starting point. So you write the blog and then you distribute it everywhere. You want to reach your audience where they are on social media, in email, and you want to cross-link between all those places and bring them back to your blog. It creates this virtuous cycle where people find you on the web and they sign up for your newsletter, and then they find you on social or coming back the other way. And the question I always get asked is, how often? We actually have asked business owners this question over more than 10 years of studying small business owners. And what we have found is that recently there's been a real decline. The fewer and fewer business owners are writing. Well, I don't know anybody who writes every day anymore. What we're seeing is the real average is if you can write one blog post a week, that's awesome. 600-800 words, really add good content. If you really have a lot of content on your website, you can write one blog post and then the next week go back and just update a post you've already written. Again, that re-optimization is a whole course just on itself. But if you're just getting started, one blog post a week is really a nice rhythm to get into. And use data. Make sure you're looking at your analytics so you can see what blog posts are people reading, what are they interested in, and what should you write more about. And then look beyond just your blog. Look on social media and see what kind of content are people engaging with when you share it in the wider world. And then start creating. It's time to write your first blog post. Be sure to download the guide and the blog post planner and check the digital toolbox at digitaltoolbox.club for more resources for your business.